Right, let's start adding something to our app.js, and the first thing we need to do, just like we did before, we need to create a new Vue instance so it can actually use, calculate, compile, whatever it's going to do with all these cool things we're going to create, right? So let's start by adding new, and I want the new Vue like this, so capital V, Vue, just like I've written right here. It's really important, and parentheses and curly bracket because it's taking an object here. So in here we need to declare whatever it's going to do, and the first thing we need to do is use the EL. So we need to make sure that it's actually targeting. It's actually down here. Oh, let's just go do this down here. Let's just remove this down here. In my it's line 78 from 76 to 78. So the script part here was this. You can just delete this. We don't need it anymore. We are going to use the app down here. We just need to make sure that it actually goes and looks for this div ID called app here. And let's go back in here. So it targets by using the hashtag like this, and it was called app, right? So that's kind of all the things we need to do for now, other than actually having to do these things around it. That's why I made a little boo-boo. So now it knows what sort of div block to look for, where it needs to put in all the things we created in here. Awesome. Do a comma separator, and the first thing we do, we're going to do some static data. So we're going to use the data here, and we're going to create an object that we're going to put things into, right? The first thing we need to do is we're going to create something called attendance, and we can actually, like we did before, some of the things we did like names, and then we had Homer, right? And then bam, we just called it Homer. But we want to do a little bit more advanced now. We want to put these things inside of this attendance. So the description, the sign-up text, the date, and everything, we want to put them into a object called attendance. So all these specific data are part of that one. So it's not like flying all over the place, basically. So do like this, and we have data, and then inside data we have the attendance, and inside the attendance we'll have the different things. Now we're going to have attendance. I should have chosen something. Attendance, there we go. Date, and I'm using camel casing. So start with a small letter and then the capital over here, or uppercased for the second word, and so on and so on and so on. And I'm just up here, it says 19th of March, so I'm just going to continue that. I'm going to use a string for this, so 19th string, great work. And the next thing I want to do is attendance. Whoopsie, title, and that should be attendance, right? Something, something, something. And what was the last thing we had up here? We had attendance title, attendance description, and sign up text, right? So we have title, and then we want sign up text. Attendance, sign up text. And that's just going to be add thou name to. Oh, I'm going to show you something now. So in this one out here, you can see it says add thou name toeth, and it uses this little one single quotation mark, right? So if I do this like I do right now, it's going to do toeth the attendance list like so, and I want to put in the quotation mark here. Look what happens. Now this one over here goes blue because this is no longer a string. The string starts here, ends here. For us to be able to use a single quotation mark in here, we just need to change the outer ones here to double quote, and just remove the surplus ones, and now we're able to use this single quote in here. So both mean strings, but if we want to use something specifically like this in here, we need to use the double quotation marks for this. Last one I want to just do is attendance description, if we need a description. Thou shalt not showeth. Oops, now I need to do the same again. Showeth up. So double quotation mark instead of single, and then bam, golden. So let's try and grab some of this data and actually output it to our page, right? So right now it still says the standard one here. So what we want to do, instead of having this, if you remember from the previous one, we did like this. So if it was the name of Homer, we would just type in Homer. And right now we want to, oops, not this one. We want to grab this data, right? Attendance date. No, wait, that's not the right one. We want to grab the next one. We want to grab the attendance title first, and then we'll do the title at the time. So let's just paste it and see what happens. Right now I'm pasting this in, I'm going to my browser, and it does nothing because it's looking for this one, but it's looking for it at this level. So if I do this and I do this, then we should see attendance. Right now it pops up because it's only checking in the first, let's call it level or nested or whatever kind of works for your mind. But we're just looking at the root of the data object here. That's what we've written. So just like if you were to link to a CSS file, you would do CSS/ for the folder and then inside. If we have multiple layers in our data and our objects and whatever we're doing, we need to make sure that we're actually including that in the link. So for this to be printed out, it's just like I showed you in previous videos, I think. We need to have the attendance in front of this. So now it prints out the attendance, and I do the same down here. So next part is, I really can't remember. I'm just gonna go back and copy the title. Nope, not the title. The sign up text, and paste this in, and I'm doing the same with the sign up text. Double curly brackets, and I want the description, sign up text, sorry. Whoops, did I do it wrong? Did I do it wrong? I did do it wrong. Whatever, description, attendance dot this, right? So let's see what this does to our code out here. So now we have attendance, yada yada yada. If you change things, that will change this as well. So now we're actually just printing out our data object to our HTML using the interpolation again, and that's kind of the first thing we want to do. And we also want to change the March. So attendance state was up here. Oh, my screen just turned black. Whoop, there we go. Attendance state, there we go. So right now it says 19th of March. We're just going to change this to use the attendance date as well. Attendance date. Hopefully it still says 19th of March. And if I have an extra one here. There we go. So now we're doing interpolation and dragging data from this one. Cool. See you in the next video for even more stuff for this one.